Welcome to another HACSU vodcast, your Health and Community Services Union. And it's another member update with our State Secretary, Robbie Moore. Hi, Robbie.
Hi, Esther. How you going?
Huge few weeks for HACSU, multiple industrial actions. Can you take us through those?
Yeah, look, it's happening all over the place. We had a really big week this week. On Wednesday, in fact, we had two lots of our membership stopping work. First, we had the pathology members at the LGH stop work there. They're campaigning to try and get additional staff. They've got a huge work overload issue. They're not able to keep up with demand, and the staff are working a lot of unpaid overtime. They need additional staff. You know, the health minister committed prior to the last state election that he was going to fix the health system, and it just shows that we're still in crisis when workers need to strike just to try and get the minister to listen. And then we saw child safety workers walk off the job later that day, and they're walking off the job because they've been presented with a really unfair package when it comes to trying to fix our child safety service that's in crisis. We have seen situations where kids have even died because child safety workers have not been able to get to them on time and to help intervene in really difficult situations. There's been coronial reports that have made it clear that we need more child safety officers to do that, especially where the vacancies are occurring, which is across the state, but the Northwest Coast has the highest problem. We need to see proper market allowance that is paid to all staff so that we can attract and retain staff, and the package that's been put together misses out on significant parts of the workforce and is unfair, and that's why those workers were taking action.
It's a real concern too when you look at child safety and an inability to get enough workers under the right circumstances and the right pay to protect our most vulnerable in this community. Where's that reluctance? Why has it come to industrial action?
It's come to industrial action because the government won't listen to their own workforce. This is a workforce that have got some of the most stressful jobs in this state and probably in the country. They are working with vulnerable children, traumatised children who've been through, extremely complex situations and often have had to be removed from their parents and have to go into care. So these are the sort of people that we should be taking care of and supporting these staff, and yet some staff don't get the same entitlements as others under the package that the government's put together. And the workforce is standing together saying we're not going to be divided, even if I've got what I need, I'm going to keep fighting and keep taking industrial action until it's fair for everyone. And we see support workers, they're the ones that do the visitations with the children, perhaps to try and start to mend relationships with family, do vital work, who aren't getting any of the entitlements or any of the incentive payments. So these workers are determined to stand together, and they're going to keep fighting. They stopped work for an hour last week, and they're saying they'll stop work for as long as they need to. If it's a day next time, they'll do it because they know that they have to fight for Tasmanian children.
And what's the government's response after that industrial action, if any?
Oh, look, we've seen a really disappointing response. On the day, it was in fact the health minister that came out, Guy Barnett, and it just showed that how out of touch he is, that he was critical of workers for taking the important step that they were taking in standing up for this. So these workers have been let down. We've heard nothing from the actual minister, Roger Jantz, and he hasn't even met with us to discuss our concerns. So it's a really sad indictment on this government that is really letting down these workers, but more importantly, Tasmanian children.
And workers that wouldn't easily be replaced either. It takes a real special type of person to be able to do that job well.
Absolutely. I mean, this is complex work, and it's not the work for everyone. And I'm not sure that I'd be able to do this sort of thing. So it is just so important that these workers are looked after, their well-being. The burnout rate is high, and it's so hard to get new staff in, train them again. And we just need to see a proper package put together that, gives staff mental health leave when they need it, that gives staff the respect they deserve, and proper wages as well that are competitive with our mainland workers doing the same work.
And you've got more action coming up?
This week on Wednesday, our members at Medical Imaging are going to be stopping work for 2 hours. They're doing that because of their campaign that they're fighting for to try and get equal pay with the mainland. This is vital allied health professionals such as radiographers, sonographers, nuclear medicine technologists, and we need to make sure that these people are paid the same, because at the moment there are massive shortages of their positions because we can't attract these vital workers.
Yeah, they're like a multi-million-dollar machine, don't they? That they don't have the staff to equip that machine.
Yeah, that's correct. So the government, did all the media and said we've got this new machine worth millions of dollars that isn't even being used because we don't have the staff to be able to use it. So it's a very vital piece of equipment, and for it to not even be being utilised is an indictment on our government.
In the lead up to the federal election, what are some of those big issues that HACSU is pushing for on behalf of members?
Look, the two biggest issues that we're focusing on in the lead up to the federal election, not sure when it's going to be, whether it's late this year, March, or even as late as May next year, are going to be around aged care and disability services. In aged care, we want to see a comprehensive package for workers. At the moment, the funding around aged care is based on the award, and the award has pathetic conditions. It still only has 10 days sick leave for workers who work in aged care. When you work in aged care, you can't socially distance from people. You're working with vulnerable people. If you've got COVID, you can't go to work, or you could, spread that to somebody who's highly vulnerable to any sort of flu-like condition. So we should, but in this day and age, have much better working conditions than that. Luckily, a lot of our members still have 20 days that we've fought hard to try and keep. But we need to see those conditions improved in the award, and we're looking at ways so that workers can bargain in that area as well and properly be able to get better wages and conditions. With disability services, the NDIS has similar problems. Again, it's funded to the award. We need to be able to allow employers to pay above award conditions, and that would be funded through the NDIS. And we're lobbying hard. And for all of that workforce, we'd obviously like to see a worker registration scheme so that their work is recognised for the skills, and that it ensures that they get ongoing training as well.
Robbie Moore, State Secretary for our Health and Community Services Union, thank you for the member update. And you can stay updated on all the socials and, of course, the HACSU website.
Thanks, Esther.